Now I want to break down a couple scenarios here. Scenario number one is Trump asked to basically stop the count, and the only people who could do that are the governments of those individual states. We have to look into whether it is the legislatures, the governor, or if they have to agree, because almost all of them are split into Republican legislatures and Democratic governors. Certainly Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and North Carolina, by the way. So do they listen to Trump? That's scenario number one is, yeah, they listen to Trump and they try to find a way to stop the count. Scenario number two is they can't stop the count, and it turns out Biden wins comfortably. 4 points here, 5 points there, 3 points, 2 points, whatever it is, it's clear Biden has won. Then Trump sets up the excuse that it was stolen for the rest of his life, but he leaves. So he'll get to say, oh, it's a hoax, I should have been, I won, it's I woulda, coulda, shoulda, it was me, they stole it from me, blah, 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 right? Scenario number three is, they do count, it's close, and that's when they bring it to the courts, which is the last step. And the courts go all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they're like, well, we have a precedent. If a Republican candidate is leading, we make sure you don't count anymore. That's what we did in 2000. So now technically that was a recount, so they theoretically had an excuse, which not really, but okay. In this case, if it's close enough, if Trump's got a narrow lead, oh, forget about it. We'll definitely lose. They won't recount. They won't do it. They'll take it to the courts. They'll block it. They'll do anything they can. So if Biden has a narrow lead, then they'll recount and recount and recount until Trump has a narrow lead, and then they'll say no more recounts, right? Keep it real. So now we have to cross our fingers and hope that Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Georgia are not that close, so that they can't keep recounting until Trump has a lead in whichever state and then stop recounting at that point.
Want some more headlines?
Yeah.
I just figure I want to see where this is going to go, because this is how it'll be assisted. This is the process. So Steve Peoples on Twitter, he's the chief political reporter for the Associated Press. Washington, AP, it's very official. Trump touts wins in key states, says he will fight election in Supreme Court. Usually when you tout a win, you have to have it. So Tom Brady cannot tout the touchdown pass in the fourth quarter to Rob Gronkowski in the corner of the end zone to win the game, because it hasn't happened yet. He can hope, he can plan for it, he can scheme to make it happen. What you can't do is tout that win before you've made that, before you've scored that touchdown. So you can tout it, maybe you can claim it. I mean, it's obvious, this guy's a writer. Nobody writes something and doesn't know what they just wrote. I mean, you may have a typo here and there because you're tweeting real fast on your phone, but you definitely don't confuse the word tout with claim, or especially in this case, falsely claim. Is actually the term that should be going with this. Put it this way: this tweet did not get sent out without thought, because 99% of the responses are saying, this is BS, delete this, what's wrong with you? Tell us what really happened. We just saw it with our own eyes. We're in the age of information. 2000, Cenk, they could have done this because there's not Twitter everywhere. There's not Facebook and then Instagram and everyone else, and then people replaying it right back. Try to get something, because I've had to go through so much political tape. Try to get a video of W. Bush saying anything that we remember him saying. It's really not archived that well on the internet, because that was, he came in 2000, was out in 08. That was not the age of the internet, but it seemed like it wasn't that long ago. It was. We're in the age now where things get played right back, so he needs more assistance. They need the reality to get changed right in front of us. So here's some things that are getting splattered on social media as fact. Touting wins in key states. He didn't win these key states. There's no winning when it's not over. Like, none of that has to get said though.
And then the call is in from the AP now, not just Fox, but Biden wins Arizona.
That's actually great.
Right after his speech.
Okay, great.
Right after his speech, the AP is like, all right, fine, we'll just call it then.
All right, listen, guys.
I mean, that's not how they do it. They look at the actual numbers, like the Fox guy you were talking about.
Yeah. Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.